What's up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is the 4th of October 2016. How is everybody doing? You are in the beginning of your work week. Yes, you are. You just made it through Monday and you are setting the tone today. So, I've already started my day. You know, I got my cup of coffee. You know, I got my smokes. I'm enjoying that because I've already made a dedication for myself that 2017 is going to be a metamorphic year for me, health wise, as well as I have some projects that I'm uh, going to be embracing, and it'll put me in a position for 2018 to really, really take that next step. I know some of you guys have been asking in the past. I'm sorry, I'm being rude. Bluetooth, iPhone 7 guys. Even though I'm an Android guy, this one device right here will save you $150. It does the same thing. This right here fits in your ear. Does everything that those $160 gimmick chasers do. Now, I know some of you have been asking, like, well, Gerald, why don't you just establish a platform like so many other people have done, and because you would like to contribute and definitely okay, what we got going on here. Hmm. Okay, I literally got. Hmm. Okay. Do not know what just happened. So let's go here. All right. Okay, that was weird. Okay, what you don't know what just happened, ladies and gentlemen. Um, for those who watch on your phone or your laptop, as since I'm live streaming, all of a sudden my screen changed on me and brought me to my YouTube original page, and I was like, well, why did that happen? I really believe that's because of the fact that with everything, there's somebody watching what you're doing. You got to come to that realization that, you know, the days of watching the hairs stand up on the back of your neck and on your arms because you felt like somebody's watching me. You need to come to grips with that because the reality that we are in, there's going to always be somebody that's going to take an interest in what you're doing, good, bad, or indifferent. So that's why it's it's if a minimum, you define what is displayed. It goes back to the character of who you are, your core. How about that spirit? Because just like the words have fallen from my mouth, I can't get them back. I can't retrieve them. Doesn't matter how people do damage control or they try to soften what has occurred. Nah, there's always that defining line from fact to fiction, truth to lie, cause and effect. But you know what? What struck me these last 3 days, and maybe you can, I would love for you guys to comment on this video. Has media gotten so big that it has now a position of power? And here's what I'm saying for those who have may have caught the story or heard about it. It seems like the media, either the media is slow, but why is it that the exploits of Kim Kardashian makes front page news? Why? Yes, let's call a spade a spade. There are women that aspire to live her lifestyle. You have women that emulate how she moves, the way she dresses, how she uh, displays herself when she walks out of her door. And yes, there are men that desire her. She's a very attractive woman. However, I personally believe she was most beautiful before she took the first nick, the first tuck. Oh, yeah, that Kim was very, very beautiful. The woman she's grown to be, hmm, because the body has a way of letting everyone know this. You be true to me, I'll be true to you. And eventually the body will get tired of being exploited. And because you hear the term muscle memory, and eventually it gets tired or it rebels and desires to replace what was removed. That's why when look around now, why is it now there's so many people in the populace that look like they were characters from either Dr. Seuss. They love that Grinch look, right? Or a Muppet. But you know what's so sad? You have some people that are, they quickly grab that high horse. Well, it's my money. I can do what I want. You very well can. You can knock yourself out. But it's very obvious these people are not comfortable in the skin they're in. That's why they try so much to change it, to exploit it. And the irony of it is, I mentioned this 4 years ago. I told you, Queen, leave those ejections alone. You want to change the way your body looks? Invest in it. Get your rest. Drink your water. Take your supplements. How about your vitamins? How about eat correctly? And how about sidestep the negativity? Because those are the building blocks of your mortality. But nowadays, every time you look around, it looks like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and there's someone coming across the screen with a look of fright. Let's call it spade a spade. These people look deformed like I don't know what. People down in the South call them flicted. Look, he looks flicted. Somebody laughing. Stop laughing. You know I'm telling the truth. But see, we want to turn around and hold on to the flag of bliss by way of ignorance. But if ignorance was blissful, why are you in pain? Hmm? Don't you realize the jig is up, the daybreak has come, and the truth always presents itself through the intended moment, time, and audience. You can't run from you, no matter how hard you try to remix yourself. It blows my mind. I see these people out here, and they some of the most paranoid and broken people you'll ever come to meet. And what ends up happening? When it's all said and done, everything that the world gave them, the world will take it back. There's no reward in bad behavior, y'all. Come on. But we live in a world where they say that reality is king. Let me tell you something, Queen. Maybe that's the reason why your perception is based off there's no good men. You're right. There's no good men in your point of view because guess what? Good men don't chase after. They don't chase after made by Mattel. They run from that because there's a possibility that their seed or their last name will be inherited to someone who cannot sustain it, who will defile it, who will not honor it. How about bear a child? No good man wants that. No good man wants that burden. He'd rather turn into a hermit before he will defile himself or bring another life into this world to suffer. Why is it that we ignore the things that should be questioned? Why is it every time you turn around, you're always having, there's the breast cancer awareness thing going again. Susan B. Coleman. Why is it that we don't never see nobody banging the gong for lupus? How is it that we're not seeing people doing fundraisers for people that have children that have Down syndrome? How is it that we're not banging the gong to raise money for public education? Huh? Remember, Barbara Bush said, I want to push the platform of No Child Left Behind. Well, if you're not giving that child what it needs, the guidance that is required, the investment of the time, you done left them a long time ago. So I was wondering, I said, well, they said that average fundraiser for Susan B. Coleman breast cancer awareness, they average about $100 million every time they do a fundraiser. Well, I know collectively, I can remember at least 15 years they've been doing this. So that's well over a couple billion. You just telling me we still don't have a cure? Where's the money going? Well, we're not asking that. Why is it that we have dilapidated schools in 2016? Why is that? Because people are benefiting off of that. But ignorance is bliss, right? So really, when you think about it, y'all, we have no room to complain because we're not doing anything to end it once and for all, having a united front. Why are we not? Meanwhile, those who are aware, those who are informed, those who are really give a damn about their future, the reality, and what they stand for, they are being picked off through media. Yes, they are. Because they are blitzing so much information in your ear hole, in your brain, from the boob tube. Advertising all-time high. Meanwhile, the things that should matter get overlooked, and the things that have no merit get prime time play. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the robbery. Why, bright and early, first thing they're talking about a supposed robbery, and her 20 car security force. She's not a head of state. She's not a dignitary. She is just someone that has been placed on a platform that was built off of lust, that happened to be with someone who idolized the way she looked. Because if she was someone like the girl next door, the girl that rides the bus with you in the morning, how about the girl that's in the car next to you while you're at the light? Oh, you ain't checking for that. So you got to be made by Mattel. You got to willfully disown who you really are just to play a part. Who's the puppet master and who's the puppet? But yet she get top billing. Why? We got other things to worry about. How about the flooding in Florida? How about that Zika virus that still doesn't have a means to combat the situation because people are still getting affected. It's bloodborne. That means more people are going to get affected. And what's going to happen? You got Hurricane Matthew coming this way on the East Coast. So guess what? You actually think those mosquitoes are just going to die? No. They're going to get blown up the coast. They're going to end up in that shipping truck. They're going to end up in that canister that's going across seas. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about that? Why aren't we talking about those things? Hmm? Huh? Have we gotten so shallow as a society? You know, well, I would like to have a decent conversation with you and let you know how my day is. But since your attention span is so short, I'll just go ahead and bust it open because I know that's what you want. Have we gotten so salacious as a society? But yet we want to scream unity. UNITY. I ain't got to call you a bitch if you are acting unlike yourself. But we're not talking about that. We want to turn around and hang our hats on our shame to celebrate an easy, temporary financial stream. That's what we want. That's how, and so they're going to give them what they need. But at the end of the day, at what expense? Your happiness, your self-worth. How about your influence? Because there's going to be a little boy, a little girl that's going to look to you for inspiration. And that's what scares me. That really scares me because they know not know. They know not know. They know not what they do. And, but then again, the things we should talk about, how about that mom and that dad that is supposed to rear that child? Oh, I'm sorry. You can't be a parent because if you be a parent, they're going to lock you up. Mm. But if I don't act, if I turn around and choose not to be a parent, guess what? You're going to lock him up or you're going to lock her up. Or I might get a phone call because you didn't found her in the woods dismembered by some psychopath. You might find him because somebody done gunned him down. Oh, my bad. That's why we have the police department to serve and protect. Peace officers who police our communities. Might as well say oversee our communities. But what if that individual that has sworn to take that oath was broken? Hmm? What if that person had low self-esteem? What if they had a secret addiction that was triggered by certain words and behaviors, but as a counterweight, it is balanced out by a gun, by a taser, by force? Now, this is not a rant against our public servants. I'm not. This is a call to you, the individual. It doesn't matter who you are as you step out your door. I'm trying to talk to the person that's looking at you in the morning. You know, when you got the crust in your eyes and the mucus in your nose and your breath smell like 2-day-old yoo-hoo. I'm talking to you. We're getting to a point in our society that our civil liberties, civil rights are being mocked. And the moment that you decide say, hey, that's not fair. They throw a bunch of damn money in front of you. Shut up. They might as well say, go ahead and dance, monkey, because you take the check and cash it. They just bought you. But is it worth that heartbreak? Is it worth that disrespect? Because we can say that with Miss Kardashian. It doesn't matter who she's idolized by. She'll always be remembered as the girl that got it in on tape. I wonder what her father would think, knowing his daughter has been wayward. You think he would be like, no, he'd probably disown the hell out of her. Doesn't matter. But see, we live in a world of flashing lights and sheeple. We live in a world where truth takes a back seat to opportunity. We live in a world where who you know does not matter for what you stand for. But yet, we juggle that with our perceptions. We juggle that with our integrity. We juggle that with our moral compass. What if your moral compass was never set? Maybe your perceptions were based off the environment you were reared in, and that environment was toxic. You do know that generational curses exist, right? But honestly ask yourself, do you think that your life was meant to play the role of the Jezebel? Yeah, I'm here on this planet to just get stuck and lied to and beat on and spit on and humiliated and not protected. You think that's your life? God forbid if you have a child. Because at the end of the day, it is about the protection of the legacy, protection of the heritage. How about the protection of your heart? But if you don't know who you are, you will never understand that, nor understand your purpose. How about the direction? You don't think that coincidentally you go from one mistake to another mistake to another mistake to another, and then you scratch your head instead of taking accountability because the commonality is you, that you believe you're cursed. The curse is you're blessed and you don't even know it. The curse is you don't see it important to love yourself. So the pain continues because see, pain knows no time. It just sustains. And at the end of the day, that devil sitting there in the cut with a very shallow disposition of what you tripping for. I gave you everything you wanted. You wanted that life, I gave you that life. You wanted that mate, I gave you that mate. Now, since I done did my part of the bargain, it's time for you to give me what I want. How about your life? Oh yeah, your life is already through anyway, but I really want your soul because see, I knew that you was a child of God to begin with, but you didn't know that because the environment had consumed you. And instead of going within yourself and grounding your feet, how about having that conversation, even though the nuances that were all around you, those hidden messages where you said, oh, am I crazy? Why does it seem like the music is talking to me? Don't you realize angels exist? Don't you realize I have demons that have to stay employed or they get fired, literally? Meanwhile, you're suffering in silence, and it's reinforced by your pride. It is shackled down by your ego. Nothing good comes out of pride and ego. You do understand that, but waste of time. And the effects are felt through our mortality. How about our relationships? Does it surprise you why you're with Charlene now? It's because you gave up on you. You didn't want to take accountability. So you said instead of taking accountability, you ran from it. You settled. Meanwhile, devil's sitting there and said, oh, notice the mentality is the same, but the face changed. Why? Because I have to make sure that you're committed to your pain. And that's the problem with us as a people. Some people are so in denial, they do not know who they are. So when the problems come, they welcome it with open arms instead of discerning. How about using that beautiful word no? But if you look at life literally as what you see, not understanding that there are things going on that you can't, there are things that you're being protected from, even yourself, that comes through disappointment. The cycle, I like to know it is a curse, will continue. So meanwhile, while you're looking out your window, watching what they're doing, just know this. They appreciate your support because they're making money off your time. They don't have to worry about what's in their wallet because you're contributing to it. But the real question should be this. If you're looking at them, who's looking at you? You don't know? Maybe that's the reason you're in the pain that you're in now. You'll get it and you'll figure it out. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Maybe that's the reason why you're there now, because you refuse to see yours. So since you won't see your worth, do you really expect your environment to do the same? Time for you to stop running, come back home to the real you. Be blessed.